Bikini, and I wanted to do a video. I wanted to get some information out that a lot of women ask me about labor and pregnancy. A lot of these things are going to make your life easier overall. Like if you just use these tips, period, they'll help you. So how to have an easy labor, how to have an easy pregnancy. I'll probably do a postpartum video later. If you need one right now, let me know, and I'll try to move up my date. But I have a lot going on, and you know I'm doing stuff, so just give me a few weeks to get to that if you need it right now. But if not, it may be a little while longer. So how do we do this? How do we have an easy pregnancy, easy labor? Some people may be like, oh, that's not possible. You know, anything can happen during pregnancy. Anything can happen during labor. And those things they're true. They're true to a point. A lot of people don't understand the law of attraction. And so I'm going to mix some of that. This is kind of a spiritual / medical / personal experience type vlog. So one thing that is really important is to keep a positive mindset during pregnancy and during labor. So in this country, in America, this is where I live in the United States. If you're seeing this from somewhere else, there is so much fear given to women about pregnancy and especially about labor. You know, it's like you could die, your baby could die. They could end up having to cut you open at a moment's notice. Your baby's heart rate could do this and this could that. And those things do happen, but understand the majority of pregnancy complications, the majority of labor complications, and this is just based on, you know, scientific fact. If you all do not know me or what I do, I am a current midwifery student. I am a childbirth educator, and I am also a lactation educator and counselor. So birth work, pregnancy, this is something that I have studied in depth myself, and then I'm also studying to acquire a license to practice to actually deliver babies and to actually do pap smears and to actually work with women and on a medical level. So bear with me here. I'm not just like some person saying this, but I also have a child, and I'm also pregnant with my second child right now. I'm currently 30 weeks. I'm in my very last trimester, and I will say that there is no coincidence that I have been able to have 2 pregnancies without any major complications thus far. You know, and I don't say that in a haughty way. It's just that I know that some of the things that I do, a lot of women don't do, and then they wonder why. Oh, I just ended up having to get a C-section. Oh, I just ended up having to have this this happened, or they had to keep my baby and they had to do this. I would tell you some of those cases are probably, there's nothing you can do to avoid them. Nothing. But that's probably about 10%, maybe 5 to 10% of women who are to hear say stuff like that. The other 90% and 95%, there was something that the woman could have done. And one of the main things I will say, so we'll number them off. Number 1 will be education. Okay, I hear so many women, oh, a childbirth education class, oh, I didn't have time for that, or oh, dang, I forgot to do it. Or, oh, I didn't want to go because I was alone. And that's understandable. There are now online childbirth education classes that you can actually watch. You can go to the library and get a book. That's actually what I did with my eldest child, and then I ended up taking the course. So I had double education, but when I was pregnant, I read a lot of books. So education is really, really important, and that's going to feed into number 2. But you want to know what happens during a C-section. You want to know what an epidural does. You want to know about labor positions, because you don't have to just lay on your back. You want to know about vaccinations. You want to know about circumcision. You want to know about the glucose test that a lot of pregnant women take during their pregnancy. Their doctor or midwife gives to them. You want to know about gestational diabetes, which is what they're testing for. You want to know about everything dealing with pregnancy and everything dealing with labor and everything dealing with the postpartum period. You don't want to be like, just finding everything out from your doctor, because doctors forget stuff. You know, one of my peers recently had a baby, and she had an episiotomy, which is where they cut you because the baby is too large, or you and then she also has stitches to sew that back up because she also tore more. Now I'll give you a little tip. Midwives tend to not do episiotomies, which is the cutting of the vagina, which they are licensed and they can do. But the reason why they do not is because, we're going to use an example here. This is a piece of paper, okay? So let's say in the middle of this piece of paper is the woman's vagina. There's going to be a baby coming out of here, okay? She's in labor. So here's her vaginal opening in this hole, okay? If I just put it's going to stretch, obviously, because that's what a woman's vagina is made to do. It's made to stretch to accommodate birth, and to also accommodate a male sex organ. So if a baby's head comes out of here, my finger is the baby's head, there's going to be some stretching there. There's going to be some mild irritation. There's going to be some tearing, right? Say if I tear this just a little bit, so I do a little cut, and the baby is exceptionally large, so I'm going to use 2 fingers. This is going to tear more because there's already been an opening made. It's going to you've already helped the rip happen, so it's going to really rip. So my peer that got this episiotomy, she did have a 3rd-degree tear due to the episiotomy. It probably would have been better for her not to get that, but you know, this person didn't do any research. This person didn't know any better. First-time mom, which I will say they take advantage of, because they took advantage of me when I was a first-time mom. So when she got home, she had stitches. I mean, they stitched her up, obviously, and so she's uncomfortable, right? Which is normal to be uncomfortable after getting stitches in any part of your body, especially such a sensitive place where you just delivered a child. And so I asked her, I was like, well, have you done a sitz bath? You know, have you put some, you know, water? I used the sitz bath, which is where you kind of sit in some, you can use herbs, or you can just use clean warm water. And they also have a solution that you can put in there. The hospitals will give you a solution to put in the sitz bath to help keep the stitches clean and to help them heal. And she was like, what's that? Okay, doctors are supposed to share that information with you. The hospital, the labor and delivery nurses are supposed to share that information with you. They did that with me. Sometimes they get tired. Sometimes they're forgetful. Sometimes they're busy and they don't. This is why it's important for you to educate yourself. This is the biggest tip. Educate yourself on these things, and educate yourself on prevention tips. So placenta previa, which is a pregnancy complication, hypertension, which is something that happens to a lot of women, and they end up swelling up real bad and all kinds of stuff. The gestational diabetes. There's so many things that could happen during pregnancy that they scare you about, right? Look up ways to prevent these things. Look up, you know, usually it's diet. And I'm not gonna say I'm just, you know, the cleanest eater in the world either, but there are certain things that I do. There's certain herbs that I take. There's certain teas that I drink to prevent myself from having certain health problems. Also, I try to walk regularly to make my labor easier. But like I said, these books about childbirth education and about pregnancy will give you a lot of information on how to prevent certain things from happening. You can also get a doula who will kind of guide you and tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing to help you and to guide you along the way. So yeah, make sure you educate yourself. I mean, if you need to ask me a question about pregnancy, please email me. Your midwife, your doctor. Don't be afraid to ask your doctor questions. Don't be afraid to ask your midwife questions, the nurses in the hospitals and the birth center, whoever. If you don't feel comfortable with something, say no. Be aggressive about what you want. I was very adamant about my son rooming in with me, so him not staying in the nursery. They tried to tell me, oh no, he can stay in here. That's not what I said. You have to be aggressive. You have to be firm about what you want, because you are the mom and you have to trust your maternal instinct. I mean, just trust me on that. Trust your maternal instinct the first time. Yeah. educate yourself, educate yourself, educate yourself. And so that moves into part number 2, is to be firm and to say what you want. And someone's not doing it, if you gotta switch a doctor, if you gotta switch a midwife, if you gotta tell a nurse off, do that. You don't want someone telling you what to do with your baby and there's a negative outcome and you're like, I shouldn't have listened to that dang nurse. Because at that point it's kind of too late. You know, something bad could have happened. So you can, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I'll just use law as an analogy. You can't tell a police officer, well, my rights are this, if you don't know the law. Okay? So know your medical rights while I'm on the subject of law, but also know what's healthy, know what's safe, know what's acceptable, know what you want, know what kind of practices you want implemented after your birth, based on your education. If you read that circumcision is bad and you don't want them to do it, you tell them that. If you read it was good and you want them to do it, you do that. Whatever you want, do that, but educate yourself first. Please do not go into the delivery room not knowing what's going to happen to your body, not knowing that certain things can happen. One of the things that I recommend so much to every woman who is expecting a baby, trying to have a baby, even if you can with their first inkling of, oh, me and my husband discuss getting pregnant, please watch The Business of Being Born. It is on Netflix. Most people have Netflix nowadays. It is an excellent documentary about birth in this country. Also, just I want you to be educated because I want you to know your options. That's really the point I'm trying to make. Maybe I've been a little bit long-winded, but know your options. There are some women who don't know that they can walk around during labor. They stay strapped to the bed and they're like, oh, it hurts so bad. Well, that's because walking helps and you weren't able to move or you weren't able to eat. You know, oh, I didn't know I could deliver at home. Look up the laws in your state. Sometimes you can deliver at home. Most healthy women, if you're already healthy before getting pregnant, most of the time there is no reason that you should be, on your deathbed by the time you had a baby. There are several things that happen and several things that can occur due to medical interventions that are kind of force women into a bad situation. There are so many things I've learned the second go around, because this time I'm going with a midwife instead of a doctor in hospital. I'm doing a midwife in a birth center, and I'm learning so much more about the things that I did with my oldest son. I don't have to do with my youngest son, or I can do them an alternative or natural way. Excuse me, please. And I didn't necessarily do things that were harmful to my son, but it's I just didn't know better. I didn't know what herbs I could use, or an alternative to the glucose test. I didn't know these things because I didn't research all of my subjects, or all of my options. You have more, as a woman bearing children, you have way more options than you're afforded. You don't have, like I said, you don't have to deliver in a hospital. You don't have to lay down during your birth. You don't have to not eat during labor, which they're starting to say that it's very detrimental for women not to eat. I mean, duh. You don't have to leave your baby in the nursery. That's something that I knew that a lot of women don't know. You don't have to leave your baby in the nursery. You don't have to vaccinate your child. You don't have to circumcise your child. There's so many things that women do because they feel like they have to do it. You don't have to do it. It's not illegal to not do it. So know the laws. Be firm about what you want. Also, the aspect of fear. This is another important part. I know a lot of women are scared because they see, when they turn on the TV and they see labor, they see a woman laid back, strapped to the bed, screaming in pain. Okay. Learn about all methods of pain relieving. That includes the epidural. Please know the pros and cons of the epidural. Know the pros and cons of Stadol, which is something else that they can give you. There are several different pain relief options that are medical. There are also natural. Learn about all of them, and then you can decide what you want to do. Because I'm not here to say, oh, you should all do it this way, but know the other way, because that may be better for you. But also know that there are side effects for either or. Just know, be knowledgeable, educate yourself. That is the gist of this message. Just educate yourself. Okay, so once you do that, You've read books, you've taken the class. You know that you can drink this pregnancy tea to keep your blood pressure down. You know that you can get you an epidural because you don't want to feel no pain. You know, whatever. Okay, right? You know what you want to do. Okay, cool. Now then there's the fear aspect. Oh my God, this is another thing I get from women. This is part 2, I guess. I'm so terrified. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then you're hearing, for some reason, these jerk people will be like, oh yeah, girl, my labor was horrible. And they tell you these horrible stories about their labor and they scare you. Okay. When you are already scared, your body senses that and the baby senses that. So when you're already terrified, your body tends to kind of close up. This is why a lot of women who are scared, I've noticed, end up with C-sections. Because they won't dilate, or they'll dilate a little bit and they'll stop. Because they're scared. There are always people around them. It's people sticking needles in your arm and IV bags and all this stuff is going on and you're terrified. Okay, first of all, you are a woman. You have been gifted with the opportunity to conceive. Okay? This is something that everyone is not able to do. You even made it to being able to make it to labor. Your baby has, survived all the way to labor. Okay? This doesn't happen for everybody either. People have miscarriages all the time. You are fortunate. Okay? One thing I will tell women to do is to look up birth affirmations. They're positive affirmations. I am strong. I can do this. My mom did this, and my grandma did this, and her mom did this, and her grandma did this, and her mom and her grandma, and all the way back. So why can't you? That's literally what I told myself when I was pregnant with my first child. Like, scared for what? I already had that confidence, but I really feel in my heart of hearts that's why I didn't have a scary, out of control labor. I sat up straight and I pushed that boy out. Because I was just like, I'm a woman. Like, I have a womb. Like, I have hips. I can push this baby out. I felt that my body was fully equipped. I had some people telling me, oh, your milk might not come in fast enough. I was like, oh, my milk will. They were looking at me like, how do you know that? Because I just know. It's the confidence. It's speaking it into existence. It's the law of attraction. It's whatever you want to call it. When you're sure of yourself about something, you can get it done. And, I just want my sisters to know, you can do this. That is really it. You can do this. You can do this. Some people, and this is what I hear from almost every single mom. I promise you, I'm not exaggerating. They're terrified. It's so bad. Oh my God. I watched some videos. They scare me even more. It's going to be horrific. They have their baby. Call, check on them, or text, check on them. How was labor? Because I want to know. Because I'm interested in this kind of stuff. Girl, it wasn't even that bad. I hear that all the time. It wasn't that bad at all. Oh my God. What was I worried about? I hear that from so many women. Oh, wasn't that bad, girl? When it was quick. She came right out. He came right out. I mean, they're excited. They have this wonderful story to tell. And occasionally, of course, we have some bad stories that some women say, but you can do this. Like, that is my message to women. That is what I'm going to be on a bullhorn preaching as a midwife, as a student midwife, as a mom. You can do this. Like, I'm 5'3". I'm petite. I don't really have like a whole bunch of hips and a whole bunch of, I'm thin, I'm petite, I'm what people call skinny, I'm small. I had an 8.5 pound baby. And I had a very, very, very minor tear. Very minor. Like, she said it was almost a little bit worse than a paper cut. And I pushed for 30 minutes. First baby. And when people tell you that they have a 12-hour labor, let's rewind. I had a 12-hour labor, 14-hour labor, I think it was 12, 14 hours. You're not pushing the whole time. That's like the very end when the baby's coming out. Up until you get to that point, You can stop, you can eat some crackers, you can walk around, and then you may have a contraction. And then you're chilling, then you'll have a contraction. And it's not just, you know, you heaving the whole time. You know, the very end is very intense because the baby is coming out. That's a very, very intense period. I will not lie to you. I will not, you know, make it sound like, oh, it's nothing. You just kind of lay back and the baby plops out. It ain't nothing. I mean, no. The birth is intense. Labor is intense, but it's not as bad as people portray it to be. They literally only show that part on TV, where the woman has her legs cocked back by her head, which is a horrible birth position, by the way. Her legs cocked up by her head, and she's, that's all they show on TV. That's not all that happens during labor, okay? That's not it. Yeah, so I mean, they're showing you the tail end. They don't show you when you're laughing and playing cards with your husband, or you eating ice chips, you know, dancing in between contractions. They don't show. Well, they've just started showing stuff like that on the media, but like on social media, but they don't show them on TV. They usually show scary stuff and tell you horror stories. This is why I tell you to I advocate for you to watch natural births. They have plenty of them on YouTube, plenty of them, and women are they're blessed, and it's beautiful, and you don't see all this crazy stuff that they try to show you on TV. I will say the hardest part to me about pregnancy and labor was actually postpartum, actually healing from birth. Birth is like a marathon, okay, and your body feels like it after, okay. I definitely advise women to exercise of some sort. I'm an advocate for walking and swimming. That's what I like to do. Working out, because it will help your body be ready for labor. You don't want to just be a bum and then expect to push out a 6-7 pound baby, 8-pound baby. Like, you need to kind of get yourself up for that. So this video, I'm almost out of time, so I'm gonna try to wrap it up. But yeah, believe in yourself. You can do this, mama. Like, you can do this. You've carried a human. Like, that's miraculous. You've carried a human, and I'm sure you've been taking your prenatal vitamins and doing all this stuff to prepare for this. You can do this. There is no reason that you can't. I mean, especially if you don't have any health problems. Like, why are you worried? You should not be worried. This is something that, I mean, how many women do you know that have kids that are walking around right now? They're okay, right? Like, just calm down. One thing that I can say that'll help you is the birth affirmations. You can look some of those up. I'll probably try to find some and put those in the description box. A link to some birth affirmations for you to say every day, because it's really all about you programming your mind to believe that you can do this. Like, you can do this labor. Like, it's gonna be a piece of cake. Seriously, it's not as bad as people say it is. It's really, really, really not. I think birth is beautiful. I look forward to labor, and this is what I kind of want you guys to understand. Like, I say stuff like this all the time. This is really what I believe, and this is why I feel like last time, and I really truly believe in my heart this time, it's not going to be a challenge, because I have positive thoughts about it. Things work out positively when you have positive thoughts about them, do they not? Oh, it's going to work out. Oh, it'll be fine. It usually works out, doesn't it? And you're like, oh my God, this is gonna be horrific. I'm scared. Oh my God, I'm terrified. When you do that, you're speaking negativity. You're bringing negative vibes, and usually stuff goes awry. So just believe in yourself. Like, you can do this. I'm so serious. Your mama did it. Her mama did it, etc., etc. This is why we need more women to come together and speak positive. I hate when people tell other women, oh girl, my labor was horrible. Again, you don't know what that person was doing. They might have been eating crazy, in a horrible birth position. They had a shitty doctor. That's really half the time. They had a shitty health professional helping them with their birth, shitty nurses at a shitty hospital, and they ended up in a bad situation. Sucks, happens. This is America especially. But you can do this. Educate yourself, advocate for yourself, and believe in yourself. You can do this. I don't believe that the Creator, the Most High, your higher self, whatever you want to call, you know, the source of life, gave you the responsibility of carrying this child and being a mother if you were not capable of giving birth? Honestly, truthfully, I don't. So you can do this, mama. Trust me. Trust me. Okay, so that's my video about that. I can elaborate more. I can go into more detail. I will do the postpartum video soon. I'm gonna actually do my 30-week update in a moment after I eat. Pregnancy joy. And then I'm going to yeah, I can do another video, but just let me know if you guys have any more questions. My email will be in the description box, and some birth affirmations will be in the description box. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope you guys all have wonderful, blissful births that are easy. And I know you guys can't wait to meet your babies. I can't wait to meet mine. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Oh, I'm dropping stuff. My klutz. Another pregnancy symptom. But thanks so much, you guys. Goodbye.